Good evening, everybody. If you are watching after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying as we wait for everybody else to get into the lobby and set up our streams as well. We will see you in just a moment.
I'm just setting mine up. Nearly there.
It's music.
Oh.
I mean, you can't hear the music on the stream, but damn, it's just raving.
Oh.
Let's get this
Race
ghost X out.
11 of 12.
The
Nearly
penultimate
there.
round. Let's get that in there.
Newbie asking, what strat's the best? Crozer, don't crash.
Brilliant.
I think that is a good strategy.
Classic. Classic. If only I did that on a Sunday. Didn't crash into the wall under a safety car.
We don't talk about it, we don't talk about it.
No. And a track I like as well, it's just...
Jacko was a beast on Sunday.
He was.
Who won Tier 2 Monza last time at the GOAT? I assume it was you then, Lifebell. Alright, everyone's in. So we will go, I think, right now.
Ooh. It's in the middle of solving a Rubik's Cube, and wait for everyone to start readying up. I find it quite calming solving a Rubik's Cube. Just gets you know the mind just thinking, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't have to think too hard because I know how to solve it, but no. It's like having a fidget spinner, but less annoying. What's going on? I've only got one person over in my stream right now. They're all over at yours.
Unbelievable.
I know.
I've only got one in my stream as well. It's just Lifebout. Where is everyone?
Where is everybody indeed?
Honestly.
Gosh. Golly gosh.
So did I, Lifebout. It was quite the spectacle. Not for a good reason. I was talking about the last time we were in Monza time 1.
Ah, yes. Well, good evening everybody and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm SUMO, your commentator this evening, and joining me as always is the 5-time sprint champion and my amazing co-commentator, Ghost. How you doing, buddy?
Hi mate, it's good to be here. Penultimate race of the season, and this could be a very, very important race for Pommy Alex and Muhiti, because they are the two title contenders, and Muhiti is apparently going to have to miss the last.
I think you cut out there, Ghost, as you were saying that. There we go.
I did, because my controller ran out of battery. Yeah, Muhiti, especially a very important race for him, as he is going to miss the last race of the season, so he needs to have as much of a gap that he can on Pommy Alex to have as much chance of winning the title as he can.
Wow, then, so Muhiti with it all to do this evening, but we'll get into the championship in just a moment, as we welcome you to the Temple of Speed as our drivers take on this circuit as we begin the penultimate round of what has been a fantastic championship. The Monza circuit is a 5.793 kilometre circuit, so named the Temple of Speed for its average speed being the highest of all circuits on the Formula One calendar. 11 corners make up this fantastic track, with 7 to the right and 4 to the left. DRS will be incredibly important, and expect to see trains of drivers speeding down to the Rettifilio and the Ascari chicane. I love this circuit, Ghost. Any thoughts?
Oh, it's a brilliant circuit, isn't it? It's very, very good for action if you're a spectator, and very surprisingly difficult as a driver, especially to get perfect with so few corners. Tracks like this, you have to get every single one perfect in order to be on track with where you need to be, because longer tracks you can mess up one or two corners a little bit and still be on track, because it's a long circuit with a lot of corners where you can regain the time. But here, no. Mistake into Ascari, you've lost your lap. So it's especially in qualifying going to be all to play for, and then the race is going to be fantastic.
Yes, certainly. So we turn our attention towards the championship then, and as Ghost said, it's Ferrari versus Ferrari. The formidable duo of Alex and Muhiti will go head-to-head in the final two races. The penultimate race only, if Muhiti's not going to be here next week. 14 points separate the pair, with Muhiti currently in the lead. The championship may well go to the very last lap, and I hope you are all ready. JBS Steve Lawrence and Vito Man fight for third place meanwhile, with battles folding as you go down the grid for the rest of the positions in this championship. Ferrari have a huge lead in the constructors, and behind them Alpine looks set on second, but can Mercedes or Red Bull snatch that away? We've had another great season, Ghost. Any insights?
Well, I'm hearing on the grapevine in the Discord chat that there might be some rain in the race, which will definitely spice things up, but that is yet to be confirmed. But if that is indeed true, it's going to make this battle all the more compelling. But it's all eyes on Muhiti as he just starts his lap now, but he is the one with everything to lose today. He has to at least gain 1 or 2 points, I would have thought, at least on his teammate today, to give himself the best shot at winning the Tier 2 title.
I just saw a Ferrari take to the escape road at turn 1. I'm pretty sure that was Alex just coming out of the pits.
Yeah, it was.
Doing a Seb Vettel brake failure there. Anyway, tonight's action is brought to you once again by Positive Perception Media Design Products. If you love seeing cool livery designs as much as I do, then please do head over to their socials and to their YouTube channel as well. They are great lovers of motorsport, as are we over here in APPF1. And I would very much appreciate it if you headed over there and showed them the support that you show us here as well on a Tuesday night. Anyway, we will get to qualifying as Ente Mika makes it around the Parabolica now to finish off this opening lap for this qualifying session. And it is going to be, he's coming up to the line now, Nat AlphaTauri. It's a 1 minute 20.6 from the AlphaTauri driver, and he's got a Ferrari of Muhiti speeding round the final corner now to follow him.
Yeah, it's looking good. 2 purple sectors from Muhiti, but he doesn't get pole by 0.002 of a second, Sumo. That is fine margins to the max. So close between the two of them, but Muhiti misses out on the current pole position. Ente Mika keeps it by the finest of margins as Lawrence goes into P3 with a 20.9, and Jamie just behind him at 20.974.
We've got newbie SMI 06 coming across the line, 1 minute 21.2. He's eager to make a stand here in Tier 2 and see where he stands up against the rest of the drivers. So we'll keep an eye on that Alfa Romeo as he continues his campaign. As Lolo Mado sets the fastest time of a 1 minute 20.3 in that McLaren.
Wow, no racing line on that McLaren, but you wouldn't think it. He is well and truly on form with that lap. Krauser just behind him. just a 10th down, so very close these times at the moment. But Lalo, a surprising pole sitter at the moment. But this is a track which isn't so bad with no line, no racing line, because, as I say, there's not many corners, and they're not really difficult corners where it's you're unsure where to brake, where to turn in. It's all fairly straightforward. So, but still very impressive from the McLaren.
Yeah, certainly so. Pommy Alex had a bit of a spin at the exit of the Ascari chicane, so I think he might be going around again for another lap. Yes, it looks like he is, so we'll keep an eye on the Australian in his bid for the Tier 2 Championship thus far. Who else is coming around? Is that Mr. J-Man, Mr. Unlucky from Canada, whose race getting worse and worse and worse as he went forward. Did not the best job in qualifying. And he'll be hoping to make up for it here in Monza as he comes across as P5. Not bad from the Williams.
Not bad at all. Mr. J-Man's been a sort of surge in the latter half of the season. He's always been a sort of midfield driver, Mr. J-Man, but in qualifying this second half of the season, he has been right on it, right up with the front runners. But just hasn't converted it to race results yet. So I'm excited to see how he does next season in particular. So hopefully he can get his confidence back in races today.
Yes, hopefully so. Confidence really does go a long way in the races. We're going to watch Tyr around Mr. Spin, I suppose, as in this Aston Martin as he comes through the Rettifilio for... well, not the first time, but on this hot lap at least, as we'll watch the Aston Martin as he makes his way around the track.
Pommy Alex invalidated, by the way, so he's going to be heading back into the pits, I think. Has he stayed out? No, he's stayed out, and he's gone again. So Pommy Alex just wants to get a time on the board at the moment, so he can play to the delta on later laps. It's a lot easier if you've got a green number in the top left of your screen.
Yes, certainly. So watching Tyr as he comes through, opening up the DRS on the run all the way down to the Ascari chicane. Very fast set of corners this. You've really got to try and nail each one as you come through and be as committed as you can on the exit as Tyr is quite there. That was a nice run from the Aston Martin driver as he comes all the way down. One of the veterans on the grid, actually. I think he's been, out of all the Tier 2 drivers, he's been with us the longest here in APPF1 as he makes his way around Parabolica. It is also known as Alboreto, but we don't recognise that name here in Tier 2 as Tyr crosses the line with a 121.4.
Top 10 for Tyr. Not bad opening for the Aston Martin driver, and yeah, you're right, by far our longest standing member in Tier 2 of APPF1. Well over 100 races under his belt in APP, so Tyr is a much loved veteran of the league. As Pommy Alex retires from the session, he's gone at Parabolica. Where's that Ferrari? I'm just riding on board. There it is. He's done a Leclerc sumo.
Oh god, yeah, that Ferrari, that's terminal damage. That is going to be a huge swing in Muhitti's favour as he looks to try and increase that gap. I'm sure Pommy Alex will make his way through the field, but it's looking like he will be starting at the very back. This is not the qualifying session he needed this weekend.
Not at all. JB very deep into turn 1. Henry goes into P9 for now, a 21.0. But I saw in practice he did, I think it was a 20.8 or something, so he's definitely got more pace in that Aston Martin. Just got to unlock it. That's still 9 minutes in order to do that. JBS Steve coming around as well to do his first lap. Muhitti is purple in Sector 1 though, so keep an eye on him, but Entei not far behind at all. Just from the telemetry, but Muhitti's gone round. He's got rear wing damage. He's going to have to come back in the pits. He's gone round. That turns 4 and 5, and the Ferraris are bottling it at the moment. He's got to be careful not to get himself beached here. Very easy to do on this game, on those curbs. He's stopped. I think he's beached Sumo. He might get himself disqualified here.
That looks like a beached Ferrari.
It is. The two Ferraris are going to start at the back.
Oh, absolute
unbelievable.
The curse of the home race strikes again for the Scuderia as
Wow.
Muhiti is beached, Pomi Alex out, so the two championship rivals starting at the back, having to make their way through the field. This could be quite the race we have in store for you guys this evening.
Wow. Meanwhile, Ente Mika's gone to P2, just a couple of hundredths behind Lalo Mado. So still these times looking very close, but Muhiti, purple sector 1, and then he's spun round at turn 4, and, well, I mean, what can you say? He's going to be absolutely gutted. There was a huge opportunity with his teammate and rival being at the back of the grid, but now he is going to join him.
Yeah, Lalo Mado on a slight improvement on his lap. The margins at the front are very fine. Only a few hundredths of a second between Ente and Lalo at the minute, and it looks like Lalo might just increase that gap just a little bit more as he almost went into the pit lane there. What was that about? As he doesn't improve that time, maybe that jerk of the wheel robbing him of the little bit of advantage he was getting.
Oh, Mr. J-Man, I think, got distracted there by the Alfa Romeo ahead of him. SMI did try to get out of the way, and I think it was just more of a distraction than a block. And Mr. J-Man missed his braking point for turn 3, but managed to not get beached like Muhiti.
Well, Manny Mann's making his way through sector 3 now, down towards the Parabolica. The Williams comes to set a lap around this circuit. At the moment, looking to improve is the Williams, maybe get into the top 10. This is looking slightly better. It could be a 1 minute 20 for the Manny Man, not quite, a 21.1, but that's enough to see him into P9.
Mr. J-Man, a little bit of a Vettel at Baku there from Mr. J-Man. He just, he clearly wasn't happy with the Alfa Romeo and just sort of, it didn't touch him as he went past, but sort of turned in to say, that he wasn't happy with that particular one, so we might see that in the stewards. But regardless, he did lose his lap for it. LB's purple in sector 2 though, Sumo. So he could be on for a decent lap here coming around the final corner.
Yeah, 6/10 up. I saw him as he crossed the line. This could be a decent lap from LB. As he comes across the line in that Red Bull. It is his pole, his provisional pole, 1 minute 20.2. I think LB's not had the best of seasons this time. I mean, I think I've missed too many races to tell, but that's a great time from the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with that one. And a new time to beat, a 20.2. Lifebelt says someone using controller. But yes, little Manny Man coming on the final corner. Is he improving? Not according to the telemetry. No, he's definitely not. Into the pits he comes. Jamie F1 is in the pits. Yeah, most people in the pits at the moment. So a little bit of a lull in the laps that are going on. Perhaps with the exception of Tia, who is on a lap and is 2/10 up in sector 1.
Oh, that's a little bit of a shaky exit out of the Rettifilio chicane there for the Aston Martin. Just maybe getting a little bit too much on that exit curve and unsettling the rear end of the car. But that looked pretty good through Lesmo too as he opens up the DRS now on the run down to Ascari. Let's see what that time is as he crosses the sector 2 line. Right now, he's 1/10 up at the moment, almost 2/10. He's got to try and find some time as he comes through Ascari. Oh! The rear stepped right out on him there and it just sent him round. Lucky not to be in the wall, just maybe a little bit too over-committed, and the rear did not like that at all.
Certainly so. Unlucky for Tiet, but he's got 4 minutes to go out again and have another go.
He should be used to those by now.
His teammate Henry is out on track on a lap, not improving through sector 1, but plenty of track to go. And sector 1, of course, is basically only turns 1 and 2, which is the first chicane. And that's very easy to gain and lose a huge amount of time there. So Henry will perhaps still be feeling that he can improve. Coming up to sector 2 now, is he improving? Yes, that is better. 0.013, so not much, and he's done the same as his teammate.
And he's in the wall.
He's out. So Henry will not be improving, and the two Aston Martins Well, Henry coming out in sympathy for his teammate there.
Wow. That's a shame for Henry.
It
In
is.
the Aston Martin there. We're going to watch JBS Steve now coming from round Curva Grande on a lap at the minute. Yellow flag in sector 2. I think that's Williams making its way through there on an out lap. Yes, it is Mr. J-Man. As we watch, I can't see the time because that yellow flag's still not gone away. As it's now in straight.
I
It's
can tell you the time.
2:45.
Yeah, 2:45.
So closing laps then for the Tier 2 guys. This is their final chance to have a go at LB's 1 minute 20.2 and claim pole position for the start of this race.
Ente Mika is one to watch perhaps. He's not improving in Sector 1, but as I say, plenty of way to go on this lap, and he's only about 400ths down, so long way to go on this lap, although I think he's backed off. He has backed off. He's going to go again, Ente Mika. Clearly not improving, not happy with that lap. And going for another one. Lalo Mado's coming up to Parabolica to start his next lap. Mr. J-Man is purple in Sector 1, is the Williams driver. So we'll see if he can get anywhere near that pole position time as he comes through Lesmo 2 and onto the back DRS straight.
Mr. J-Man has had some decent runs in qualifying as of recent. Or so I'm told, and it's purple sector 2, so this could be good for the Williams. He's just got to hook up this final sector now. That looked pretty decent for Ascari from what I could see on the off-board camera. It's just Parabolica now to navigate, and you can lose a lot of time here if you don't get it just right. Through comes the Williams now. That looked pretty quick and controlled to me as he comes around that final corner and speeds down towards the line. Could this be pole position for the Williams? It is. It's a 1 minute 20.1 for Mr. J-Man. That's the lap he would have wanted to put in at the moment. Who else is next to come across the line? I think there's an Alpine just about to come across his Fido man, but he's going to run again. That was a slow lap from him. How about an Alpha Tower? I think that's Get Carter on a lap of 1 minute 20.8. I think he'll try and go again as well.
Yep, SMI is improving in the Alfa Romeo. No, he's not. He's backed off. So he's going to have to go again. Is he going to have enough ERS to do it? That's the question. Who else? Crozer, is he on a lap? No. Who is on a decent lap at the moment? Doesn't look like anyone is, apart from, no, Henry's out. Tia was faster in Sector 1, but lost it all in Sector 2. Ente is purple in Sector 2, but he's invalidated. It's all happening. Mr. J-Man still on pole, 20 seconds left in the session.
Lalo will be going around again, so there'll be a lot of drivers who have aborted previous attempts. Krauser, did he have a spin, or is he just coming through that corner in a strange angle that made him look like he was spinning? Keeping an eye on Jamie F1 in the Mercedes as Ente Mika makes his way into the pits, so that's his qualifying session over. Let's watch as Jamie F1 comes down towards the line. It looks like a decent time from the Mercedes. It's 1 minute 20.7. It sees him up to P6, not quite close to that pole time at the moment. Fido Man is making his way through now. I don't think he's going to be able to improve. There's a spin or something going on.
Lalo was a 10th up in Sector 1 and he spun on the exit of Turn 4, so he's not going to get pole position. LB, he's come through Sector 1. He was not an improvement in Sector 1, 1.5 tenths down, and that looked very desperate on the exit of 4. Lawrence purple up in Sector 2.
Yeah, he's really looking quick. This could be an incredible time from the Alpine. It's not quite. It's only a 20.6. Only sees him just ahead of Jamie F1 at the minute. It was looking really good. He must have had an awful run somewhere else in the lap. How about our newbie SMI 06 in the Alfa Romeo? Too many Alphas at the moment. It's not going to be enough for pole position, but can it see him into the top 10? Not quite. That's P11 for the Alfa Romeo. Is there anybody else out on a lap at the moment? LB looks like he's on a lap coming through the final sector now, but I don't think it's going to be good enough.
He backed off after Ascari. He wasn't going quicker. So I think that is your grid, Sumo.
Wow. So everybody bottling it on the final runs, other than Mr. J-Man, who put in an incredible lap. And I think, is this his first pole position, Ghost?
I believe that is his first ever APPF1 pole position.
Wow, that hard work has certainly been paying off. He's been putting in the time, it seems, and his qualifying form of late has been incredible. He's got to try and translate that now into the race, but an incredible time from Mr. J-Man. Only a tenth ahead of LB at the minute, but this is looking like quite the grid, I will say, Ghost. We've got Alpha Tauri somewhere in the midfield. We've got the two Ferraris, our championship rivals, starting at the back. And we've got Mr. J-Man taking his first ever pole position here in APPF1 Tier 2. That is an incredible achievement and well done. So he will be your pole man for this race, with LB joining him on the front row in P2. Lalo Mado and Entei Mika occupy the second row, with Krauser and Lawrence behind in row number 3. Jamie F1 and Get Carter take up positions 7 and 8, with Fido Man and Henry rounding off the top 10. We have our debutant SMI 06 in the Alfa Romeo in P11, with Little Manny Man in P12. And then there's Tier, JBS Steve, Pommy Alex and Muhiti making up the rest of the grid. Watching these two make their way through the field could be interesting, and maybe we might see some carnage as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're after the in all caps, the Red Bull incident last season, turn 1. We do have rain to start the race, which is perhaps going to lend itself to more carnage. Wow, what a race! It almost feels like it should be the last race of the season, but it isn't. So we'll have to see. I'm gonna be riding on board with Muhiti at the back, so I'll update you on how they do on their starts, the two Ferraris, as we're about to get underway.
No formation lap once again, I'm assuming, so we're going to get straight into the action in 20 seconds. Everyone's just making their final adjustments to their strategies at the moment, which for now look like a stint on the intermediate tyres, with changeable conditions possibly to come later. There's 27 laps for the drivers to navigate around this circuit, and we are about to get underway as we go down to the grid. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's Mr. J-Man on pole position. Can he get a decent start? It's lights out and a bit of a stall from the game there. That wasn't too great, but it's a tentative start from everybody. Muhiti's got an incredible start a little bit further back, and Lalo Malo gets a great start as well. LB getting absolutely mugged off the start as Mr. J-Man has managed to keep his position at the minute. Oh, the AlphaTauri getting a little bit sideways coming through the chicane at the moment. There's a bit of drama going on further back. I'm not getting the best camera angles at the minute, but there's contact. Oh, and that's Fido Man and Little Manny Man off into the wall there. I'm not sure what happened there, but that looked like some carnage. Pommy Alex has got away well. We go back to the front now as Lalo Mano is in the lead of this race. How has that happened? Poor exit perhaps from Mr. J-Man as they went into Curva Grande, and that's two AlphaTauris off the circuit at the moment. There's absolute carnage. Nobody was ready for this wet start, and it shows. As Mr. J-Man going up the inside, sorry, into Lesmo 2. He had a little look, but backed away from it now. Krauser is the lead. Red Bull as LB has dropped all the way down, and there's a Mercedes getting all out of shape.
Muhiti had such a good start, but was so unlucky. The two Aston Martins collided into turn 1, and Muhiti couldn't avoid them and lost some front wing, so he's going to have to come in for an early pit stop. Pommy Alex up to P12 avoided everything. Muhiti was so careful as well into turn 1. That's desperately unlucky for him. But
Jamie
yeah,
F1 on the attack in towards Parabolica. He's going to go up the inside of Lawrence. Sorry to cut you off there, guys. They're going to go side by side now through this final corner, and that Alpine runs very, very wide. That leaves Jamie able to sweep into P5.
Wow, what a start to this Grand Prix. Henry into the pits. He has front wing damage and gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. Muhiti stays out with his front wing damage, which is a huge surprise. So perhaps he doesn't think it's too bad. Tier and Lawrence side by side into turn 1. Lalo penalty, that's huge. 5-second penalty for corner cutting. I don't know how he managed that. Tier and Lawrence nearly swapping places. What a start for Tier.
Oh, here comes Get Carter. He's looking to go up the inside into the Della Roggia on that Red Bull. They're going to go side by side into this chicane, and Krauser just manages to go around the outside and leave enough room for the AlphaTauri as well. But that AlphaTauri is all right behind him in the diffuser of that Red Bull, trying to make a way through. Lalo Mado is now in P2 again. I've missed the change for the lead. We'll have to keep an eye as Mr. J-Man continues his campaign for his race win.
Yeah, I think Lalo might have just braked too late or locked up into turn 1, and that's where that penalty's come from. He's gone over the curbs to sort of skip the corner, and the game's given him a penalty. Mr. J-Man back into the lead as a result, as we've got more battles going on. Crozer and Get Carter finally swap positions. Get Carter up into P3 in these tricky conditions, and I'm sure there's much more drama to come.
Keep your eye on this man in green. He's made up 5 places off the start of this race and is known for his prowess in the wet. I won't mention his name, but just keep an eye on him as we progress through this race. We don't want to curse him again, as he is all over the back of Lawrence at the minute, whose mate seemed to be struggling, but he might have just found some pace. I will try and breathe, Rick. It has been a little while since I've commentated properly, and there is a lot going on.
Muhiti has succumbed to his damage. He's into the pits for a new front wing. Desperately unlucky for the championship leader, and he's going to be desperately hoping for a safety car here, as out of the pits he comes in dead last.
It seems that Lalo has been getting some very poor exits out of the Rettifilio chicane there, which is turns 1 and 2. And he has been losing a lot of time to J-Man, who is just coolly controlling this race at the moment, as he's managed to open up a bit of a gap with the lack of DRS as well at the moment. If he can just stay cool, he should have this in the bag, but there's still a lot of story to unfold as this race continues. We're going to have a look further down the grid. There's a few battles going on. We've got a battle for P1 still raging on, with 4 cars just close enough to each other, but the lack of DRS of course is going to hinder them, as Lawrence is trying to make a move on Entei Mika as they come around the final corner.
Oh, Lawrence a little bit squirrely on the exit of Parabolica, but he's looking good in the Alpine at the moment. Get Carter with the fastest lap, so he's looking quick. Lawrence with the fastest lap. So obviously the Alpine driver who looked like he was going to be a real contender for the championship earlier this season, and then it sort of all went wrong in the middle part of the season, and he hasn't been able to recover. But he's going to be hoping to at least secure 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship. And at the moment he's looking very quick, but Jamie with a poor exit up turn 2 could be under pressure from the AlphaTauri behind him.
Yeah, certainly so. We come down towards the Della Roggia. The Mercedes still in the lead at the moment, but he's got Entei and Lawrence for company, who are very, very close behind. Get Carter's getting close to the back of Lalo, who seems to be struggling out in this wet weather at the moment. A little bit of a shaky exit for Get Carter from the Lesmo too. That's not going to help his run. Lots of drivers relying on their ERS at the minute to give them that speed, perhaps needing to save some, especially if we are due a stint in the dry tyres a little bit later on. But a safety car can always help with the ERS recharge, and there'll be some drivers, Muhiti, who will be hoping for that.
Gotta say, it's a miracle we haven't lost any drivers from this race after that first lap. Saw drivers slamming into the wall on the exit of turn 2, and somehow everyone's still in it. So, as I say that, SMI nearly goes into the wall on the exit of Ascari, and Little Manny Man could be invited around the outside of Parabolica. Here they go. This is only for P13, but still a battle between the two, as SMI keeps the position for now.
Yeah, Little Manny Man going a little bit too deep there, perhaps trying to outbrake his opponent, and that cost him the time there, and the line wasn't as beneficial as possible. Meanwhile, Lawrence getting close as they come through Curva Grande. He's using a lot of VRS, and he's looking to pull alongside. He has. They're going to go side by side in towards... and he's gone right into the back of Jamie!
Oh, and there was contact to Entei Mika into the wall as well behind him. I don't know if Entei lost it or if there was contact. Lawrence seemed to brake a lot later.
Wing damage on that AlphaTauri.
Yeah, there certainly is. He went straight into the wall. I'm sure we'll see that in the stewards later on, but Lawrence going to be furious with himself there, because he has just lost a huge chunk of time and I think a front wing.
Yeah, and wing damage as well, same one. Both lost their front end plates. I think he's outbraked himself there, trying to get ahead of the AlphaTauri, and outbraked himself in these wet conditions, and has unfortunately had a big mistake, which is going to cost him a lot of time in this race. He's going to have to make an unplanned pit stop. Same with Entei Mika as well. That man in the green car there, we're not going to say his name, he's making some good progress at the moment. As long as we don't say his name, he should manage to finish the race. Here's our Rainmaster in the Aston Martin, as Pommy Alex is making some steady progress in P9, and is looking to pick up some good points at the moment.
Absolutely. Lawrence has not come into the pits, but I wonder if we'll see him give up like Muhiti did after he got damage. He stayed out a couple of laps and then realised, no, I'm losing too much time here, and came in. I wonder if we'll see the same thing with the Alpine. Entei has come in though, as Lawrence goes very, very deep into turn 4. Surely he's going to realise this is not sustainable, and we'll see him in the pits on this lap. But yeah, Entei is going to be especially disappointed. I don't know how Jamie managed to keep his car on the track, but yeah, Entei will definitely feel hard done by that.
Yeah, Lawrence probably going to have to come in here. He's lost a place to LB now, and he'll soon be under threat from Pommy Alex with that wing damage. It's really, there's a lot of high-speed corners, and you need that downforce really to get your way through them reliably, especially the Lesmos and especially the Ascari as well. And if you've not got that if you've not got that downforce, then you're really, really going to struggle around this track.
Yeah, very wide at Parabolica, as we can see. And are we going to see him peel into the pits? Yes, we are. As Tia sets the fastest lap.
This is not the best. I mean, the rain has perhaps put a dampener on, pardon the pun, on some of the action. But we've got a lot going on at the front. A lot of the cars are quite close together here. So we've got some decent action perhaps boiling up in a moment. And remember, this rain doesn't seem to be staying for too much longer. It looks like those clouds are starting to thin out a little bit, and the rain is lessening.
Two Aston Martins trading fastest lap. Henry now takes it. Is Lawrence going to be ahead of Entei as he exits the pits? Yes, he is, and that's very wide from Lalo. Get Carter into P2, and Lalo might be able to challenge him into a Sky, but I don't think so. Not quite as good an exit as he would have wanted. And Get Carter into P2. He is showing his form once again. He has 2 wins on the bounce, does he? Or I think he has 2 wins on the bounce in P2. Yeah. Sure. So he is looking very confident in that AlphaTauri, but Mr. J-Man is 4.6 seconds ahead.
Yeah, Mr. J-Man is really just controlling this. He is having an incredible race out there at the moment. As he got such a clean getaway, and it's important. If you can get a clean getaway here at Monza and pull away, you can really try and play out that advantage. Meanwhile, Jamie is making a move on the Red Bull of Krauser. They're going to go side by side. It's a drag race all the way down to that first corner, and it looks like Krauser's got it as Jamie does back out, back into the slipstream. We've got the Aston Martin trying to find the way through as well. It looked like a decent exit. He's great in the rain, this guy. And look as he comes around the Curva Grande. Now he's all over the back of that Mercedes. Can it be a move into the Della Roggia as they make their way around there? Not quite. He's not close enough. It's the Aston Martin, and he's going to find his way through and just sit behind. He knows what he's doing out in these wet conditions, and he looks like he's going to make up some more places yet.
Who is this guy, Sumo? I've never seen him before. In this
I don't know.
Martin. It just seems to be, you know, tearing up the track at the moment.
If only we knew his name.
Entei Mika right behind Lawrence, so it could be revenge in the order here between these two. Entei will definitely be wanting to get past this Alpine after what happened earlier.
Yeah, certainly so. Big incident there, and Tyr is on the attack. I've just said his
Oh
name,
no!
I've cursed him to Ghost, but it doesn't matter. He's on the attack on Jamie now, looking to get up the inside of the Parabolica. Does he try and outbreak his opponent? Not quite. He's going to follow him through and maybe get the better exit from the corner at the minute, but he's losing that little bit of time, so not quite close enough is the Aston Martin, but seeing his exit from the first couple of corners, he might just get it on that traction zone.
Ente Mika has a big slide in Ascari as he is in his bid to overtake Lawrence, but they were very, very close in the Lesmos. Lawrence had a bit of a moment and Ente just tapped the back of him, but as a result, but no harm done, I don't think. So these two continue to go as the Aston Martin is going for it.
Right up the inside of the Della Roger, they're going to go side by side, enough space left between us, great respect on the track, but Tyr not finding a way around that Mercedes at the moment. Jamie parking it very well on the inside line and managing to keep that position for the moment. This squabble is inviting LB into the fray as well. He got a terrible start and he'll be looking to try and make up some positions after being absolutely robbed on the run down to turn one. Meanwhile, Laro Mado's trying to get his head down and go back after Get Carter at the minute. He's keeping within that second. Gets a 3-second time penalty though, so that is really going to hamper him. I think that's 8 seconds of penalties for the McLaren.
It is. And he's not going to get those 5 seconds removed either, because he will have to serve them in the pit lane, unfortunately. So Crozer could be in a good position to nab a podium here. He's not had a good season at all as the Red Bull driver. I think he would love to get on the podium as the Aston Martin very squirrely on the exit of Parabolica. And now here comes Jamie, the Mercedes on the back of Red Bull. Here they go into turn one. What can happen here? Jamie backs out again. He's very, very sensible from the British driver. Doesn't want to do anything rash.
Yeah, certainly so. Very smart to back out of that move there. It's a lot harder to break in these slippery conditions, especially when you're at such speeds. I think the drivers are reaching, speeds of about 211 miles an hour. That's probably about somewhere around 300 kph as they get down to the Rettifilio chicane there and in the wet. And you're braking and locking up and sliding as well. It's just not worth the risk.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult out there in these conditions, especially on a track like this with so many high-speed corners. Can be super, super difficult to be on the limits without crashing. But lap 10 of 27, everyone's still in the race, so great stuff from Tier 2 here, as the Aston Martin again on the back of this Mercedes.
He loves that section of track. He's been having some great runs through there. I watched him do it in qualifying, and he's been doing it fairly consistently in the race as well, except for that one time that we just won't talk about in that qualifying session as he comes around the Parabolica. He's putting the pressure on Jamie at the moment, and perhaps a move could be on in the next few laps at the minute. No sign of this rain easing up just yet. Hopefully it does, to maybe spice things up in terms of the strategy at the moment. But it's this fight for P4 that we are watching, with the two Red Bulls and Aston Martin and Jamie in the Mercedes all battling away. And here comes Tyr in the Aston Martin again, looking to go around the outside of the Curva Grande here. This is incredible stuff, and I think he's just about going to get it. Oh no, they're both into the wall. Jamie is out of this race. Tyr's managed to stay in, somehow not getting any damage from that. I'm not sure what happened.
Safety car.
We'll see that in the stewards room for sure, and there's that safety car, and Muhiti will be happy with that.
He certainly will. But I think that was a case of Jamie just. Actually, I can't. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything actually until I see a second viewing of that. It's very difficult to tell on first view, but certainly contact between them. It was rear right of Tyr to the front left of Jamie, and the Mercedes has paid the price. Tyr still in P6, but with significant damage. But I can reveal, by the way, he has had front wing damage from lap 1, just minor front wing damage. So to be doing as well as he has been, quite a phenomenal performance. But he's definitely going to have to come in the pits now under this safety car.
Yeah, known as the Rain Master is Tyr. in the Aston Martin there as things slow down. I think drivers will be coming into the pits. Maybe not everybody. Mr. J-Man is certainly coming for a fresh set of intermediate tyres. He's going to lose his lead to get Carter, who takes the lead of this race and will join on to the back of the safety car. Red Bull 2-3 at the moment as drivers come in. Yet Tier getting that wing changed. Best place to do it under the safety car. Look who snuck into P4 goes, Pommy Alex.
Yeah. Wow, what a performance it's been from the Australian so far. He's currently going to gain 11 points on his championship rival Muhiti, and that would mean that it would be 3 points between them. So Muhiti needs to step it up here. He needs to have a fantastic safety car restart and a fantastic second half to this race, because it has not gone his way so far.
Lalo Maddo on the medium tyre.
Sorry? Wow.
This is very bold.
Now that is bold. Yeah, I can still see the rain coming down, and he locks up massively into turn 4. Surely not. Surely not, Sumo.
I don't think it's slick conditions at all yet. The rain is still coming down, and I don't think this is the first time Lalo has made a strange... Oh, and he's off! I think he might be out. He's into the wall. He's probably got damage. Just avoided it, but showing it's definitely not time for the slick tyre. This is not the first time he's done this. I think it was a race early on in the season. It was wet and we went on the slick tyres at the wrong time, and that's going to send him all the way to the back of the grid, especially if he comes in to change those tyres once more.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He has a history of this, Lalo Maddo, unfortunately, making the wrong tyre choice in changeable conditions, and I think today is no different. So he has just sacrificed all the work that he's done, and round he goes again at the exit of Ascari. Tier's retired!
Oh.
A parabolica under the safety car. There's the stricken Aston Martin. Oh no!
Every time.
How has he done that?
Can we just have one race? One race.
No. Oh. He did have side pod damage, I will say. So I think maybe he can be excused. Maybe that is a good excuse, the side pod damage. But I mean,
Lalo Maddo stayed out.
Okay.
He's certainly mad. We'll give him that.
Yeah. Well, this safety car is going to stay out a bit longer then, because he's going to take a very long time to catch back up to that pack. I do not know what he's thinking in that McLaren, to be honest. Muhiti is in P13. He's the man to watch. His rival, Pommy Alex, P4 at the moment, as you said. But all of the top 5 are on their inters from the start, and there I suspect Sumo going to be looking to go for a 0 stop if it is rain all the way to the end, and they're going to go all the way to the end on those tyres, so they're going to be very vulnerable to the guys on fresh mediums further back. Henry is also on old inters, sorry, not mediums, inters. Henry also on old inters, but everyone else on fresh ones except obviously Lawrence and Entei, who are on slightly sort of between the two because of their crash earlier on, having to come into fresh ones. So very interesting strategy battle here, despite everyone being on the same tyre, with 14 laps to go.
Yes, so I'm hoping that Lalo does take it easy as they go hurtling down towards turn 1 once the restart is underway. We wouldn't want him locking up badly and taking out any other drivers at the moment, but still the rain is coming down, so no chances of it going away just yet as the safety car makes its way around, and Lawrence and LB have come into the pits. Lawrence on the medium tyres.
Oh wow. Okay, so
information
Lawrence,
that we don't have clearly.
Maybe taking a big gamble there. Maybe he thinks Lalo's doing all right on the mediums. we know otherwise.
Yes.
LB on fresh inters. I can still see raindrops, so it's not drying at the moment. So I'm really not sure about this. It's going to delay the safety car even more, which is bad news for Muhiti mainly, really, because he needs as many laps as possible in order to get himself back into this race.
Lots taking it easy out there at the minute, but it's certain that track looks far too wet to be on a slick tyres. I mean, I'm riding on board of it just now just to get a better view of the circuit. Look how slippery and greasy it is out there. Safety car in this lap.
LB is going to be absolutely furious about that because he's been stuck behind this Alpine on the medium tyres. He can't overtake him under the safety car conditions. So LB really has gotten the short straw here in terms of this restart. He's not going to be happy about that, but we're about to get underway. So
they might just catch up, but get Carter. Is there somebody out of the race, or somebody just left the lobby? I think.
Anyway, that was tier leading you.
As Lawrence has had a bit of an incident and has let LB go. So those two on the medium tyres, they're not going to be with the rest of the group as we get going again. As Get Carter has started, and I think Krauser has got a much better restart, but so has Pommy Alex. Pommy Alex is already ahead of JBS Steve in a minute, and he's going to be challenging down into the first corner as well. This could be free wide as they go down. No, Pommy Alex stays behind. Krauser's going to go for the move. They're side by side into the first couple of corners at the minute. Pommy Alex looks for a way through, and the compromised Krauser has now got a challenge with the Australian as they go through Curva Grande for the 15th time this race at the minute, and it looks like the Ferrari's going to get the better of the Red Bull at the moment, but no, they're going to continue to go side by side as they go along in towards the Della Roggia. Don't have an incident, chaps, as they go through, and the Ferrari nowhere to go, almost into each other. They're still going at it as they go down towards the Lesbos, but Krauser gets ahead.
Wow. Mr. J-Man down to P7. I'm not sure what happened. I think he might have got an illegal overtake and had to let Entei back through. As that's Muhiti. Muhiti's lost it. The championship leader. As SMI and Tito side by side as well through Lesmo 2. Somehow managing to keep it together. Henry loses position to Mr. J-Man, but these two, SMI up to P8 now. And looking to challenge Henry for P7 maybe into Ascari. That would be one hell of a send. I'm glad he just about backed out of that one in time. Tito still P9, but Muhiti, big story. Little Manny Man loses it as well. Muhiti down to P12 and back again, 12 seconds behind the pack.
Not the restart he would have wanted, and I think the rain has stopped, Ghost.
Oh, it has. You're right. My word. What is happening here? Lawrence might have played it well, but I think he's too far back. Entei and JB side by side on the run to turn 1. Entei backs out. No, he doesn't. He goes for it on the brakes into turn 1, probably unintentionally. And JB keeps the position. Henry and Mr. J-Man swap again as the Aston Martin back down the inside. So Mr. J-Man not able to take advantage of those fresher inters. And if it is now dry, they're all going to have to come in, so the guys that have stayed out, huge advantage for them.
If you're Muhiti right now, I would perhaps come in this lap and hope that other drivers don't come in for a couple of laps while they get those tyres scrubbed in. But it's a gamble for sure, as the dry line is coming, but however quickly it comes, as Henry is on the attack now on Entei Mika. A poor exit perhaps from the Alpha Tauri. They're going to go side by side in towards the Ascari chicane. Not quite. Entei backs out of it quite sensibly as Henry gets ahead before the corner and is in P5 in a moment. He does have that penalty to contend with as well, but that will only affect him at the end of the race right now, and Henry is under threat once more on the attack again. In fact, he's going up the inside of JBS Steve now. Those lap fresher tyres doing him well, and he's been running really well in these wet conditions, just like his teammate was until he crashed out. So Henry into P4.
What a restart from Henry. He's been fantastic so far, as Mr. J-Man maybe trying to make a move on Entei, but backs out of it just before the braking zone into turn 1. He's in the pit, so
my advice is clearly watching the stream.
I think so. In he comes. Is it going to be the mediums?
Soft
Tyres. He thinks he can take them to the end. I think they will go to the end. Entei Mika. right behind JB, not able to make a move into the De La Rogier, but very close between all these guys. Mr. J-Man looking to try and find a way through as well. He's going to be gutted that he came in for his stop. I think maybe all the guys who came in didn't realise that it would get dry so soon. But neither did we. Henry's out!
Oh,
He's joined his teammate! Lesmo 2,
safety
and it's
car.
a safety car. Muhitti's going to be furious! Everyone going to come in for the fresh, slick tyres. And everything's been neutralised. JB gets a track limits penalty under the safety car, which he's going to be annoyed with himself for. And race completely neutralised again. Henry loses it at Lesmo 2. Both Aston Martins out of the race. Disaster for them after it was looking so good. And that is how quickly things can turn with 10 laps to go. Muhitti still has every chance of doing something.
That's
here.
interesting. I would have been straight into the pits. It seems so. There's an Alpha, the other Alpha Tauri. Ente's come in. I think these guys have made a mistake.
It certainly looks dry, doesn't it? Well, there's no raindrops. It looks like it's drying. Maybe they think, maybe Mark is telling them that it's going to get wet again, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure at the moment. I'm going to keep an eye on the sector times on the telemetry when the safety car comes in, and see how Lawrence is doing, and maybe Lalo Mado as well. But they seem fairly. Oh no, Muhitti very aquaplane-y in Parabolica, so it's not quite dry yet. But at the end of the safety car, I'm not sure. Lawrence is into the pits though, and what's he going to go on? Is it going to be inters?
Softs, perhaps.
Softs, okay.
No,
it's mediums. Another set of mediums.
It's a wing change. He's serving a penalty.
5-second penalty. Yeah, sensible.
Yeah, and onto the mediums. 3 seconds.
Oh, Muhitti!
That's not going to help him. Track limits.
It's because he's locked up into turn 1. That must have been it, because he was in the gravel at turn 2. So he might contest that in the stewards room if he doesn't get any more warnings this race.
Yeah, certainly. So, but I'd be interested to see if anybody does come in. How much time will Muhitti gain? Not much if he's locking up and struggling on those tyres at the minute. Ente's on the mediums now as well, and he could see himself shoot up the grid if drivers decide to come in en masse into the pit lane. There is no raindrops left, but the track isn't quite dry yet, so who is going to come in? Who's going to take that risk? Not get caught at the moment. Nobody is making their way into the pit lane. I think everybody sort of copying each other perhaps, except for SMI 06. He's in the pit lane, and I think that might be a set of slick tyres for the Alfa Romeo, wanting to take the risk. Is it slicks? It is mediums.
His first race with us, and he's looking to take advantage, take the risk. Why not? As it certainly looks like it's drying. We're still under safety car conditions. I think this might be a sort of Singapore from this year in the real F1 situation, where the track is still greasy, but it's not actually raining. So it's tough to say. SMI now does exactly the same as what Muhitti did. Gets himself a time penalty for locking up into turn 1. So it's still, as I say, it's still greasy out there. It's still not quite slick weather, or slick conditions rather. But for every lap the safety car stays out, if it does stay dry, it will help these guys on the slicks.
Yeah, it certainly will. Give more time for the track to dry out, but it's just not doing it at the minute, I think. It's just still very slippery out there. And normally the best time to come in is when DRS is activated. That's when you know you have to come in for the pits. But you've just got to try and play it by ear when it comes to decisions like this. But Ente is caught right up onto the back, so if everybody was to pit now, he'd be straight into the front.
Here's the thing though, Sumo, because of the safety car, we don't actually know when DRS has been enabled, and neither do the drivers. So they have to play it by ear, as you say. And Muhitti is looking, I've been riding on board with him this lap, he is looking very comfortable now on those soft tyres. I think it is starting to be slick weather who's going to pit? Is anyone going to come in at the front? I know you're keeping an eye on it, Sumo. Are they all staying out?
All staying out. I think Get
Wow.
Carter was trying to maybe pull a dummy and see who would go in, but nobody went into the pit lane at the moment. And the longer this goes on, the more advantage the guys on the slicks already are going to get.
Absolutely, and wow, again, it feels like this should be the last race of the season with everything that's happened.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been such a cliffhanger. But no, we do have Abu Dhabi next week to finish off, where Muhiti will not be present. So again, he needs to make all the time that he possibly can, and at the moment, again, I'm just riding on board. He doesn't seem like he's slipping and sliding anymore. He seemed fairly comfortable on those slicks. Could this be a masterclass from Entei, SMI, Muhiti, Lawrence and Lalo?
Perhaps. I mean, Lalo was the first to jump the gun.
Well, yes.
And perhaps a bit too eager to get on those slick tyres. And I think he's still struggling a little bit, and he might not catch back up to the safety car. Depending on when it decides to come in, it's looking like it might still be out. But we'll wait until it gets through Ascari. It's coming in this lap. So if they were going to pit, they've lost their chance now, and that's contact. Krauser's got front wing damage. Get Carter slowed down all of a sudden. That means he's lost his front end plate, it looks like. That is a shame for the Red Bull. It's unlucky season, getting even unluckier as a few drivers getting a little bit they're swapping positions, perhaps game telling them to do so. Lots of shuffling going on.
Yeah, it's a little bit messy at the moment, but Carter still decides when to punch it. Muhiti on those softs, I'm going to ride on board with him, and I'll let you keep on track with the action, Sumo, as we're about to get underway.
Yeah, we're back underway again, and loads of drivers making their way into the pit lane. Get Carter stays out. Mr. J-Man staying out. LB stays out. Little Manny Man stays out. And it looks like Entei Mika's on the attack as well. He's got SMI 06 for company as well. This could be free wide into the first corner. It's not. Entei Mika's off the track, and he's spun around. He tried to avoid the car ahead of him. Muhiti's straight into him. Absolute carnage. Entei Mika's got huge front wing damage. Front wing damage from Muhiti as well. Pommy Alex is in the pit lane, and Muhiti won't benefit too much. He might try and stay out on those tyres, but avoiding action tried to be taken. Meanwhile, Lawrence and SMI in the back. SMI goes all the way around the outside. This could be an incredible move if it pays off. Little bit of bumping between the two of them, and they're going to continue to go side by side as they head down towards the first Lesmo at the moment. And it's the Alfa Romeo ahead for the time being, and he gets ahead. That was an incredible move from the debutant in that Alfa Romeo. And if the others decide to come in, that could be the lead of the race, but he's got that penalty.
Absolutely. Get Carter now with a 3-second time penalty at the front. The Inters are still better, it seems, but for how long is it going to be that way? I think by the end of this lap, it will be the other way round. Muhiti's definitely going to stay out. There's no benefit to him pitting now. He's just got to grin and bear that front wing damage, but he's going to be gutted because that's twice now. He's been careful into turn one, and he's just had front wing damage. No fault of his own at all. Lalo Mado's round at Ascari.
They're all in.
Yeah, they're all in. The intermediate tyres all in. So it's going to be SMI who takes the lead, and Lawrence who's going to take P2, but it's going to be the lead on penalties. Muhiti up to P3, Sumo.
Wow, what a shuffle around of the grid at the moment, and the gap at the minute is huge. Pommy Alex is all the way down in P12, and I don't know how many places he's going to gain as he comes around the parabolica. He's the last one to make it round there, so we'll see how many drivers he gets ahead of as they come out of the pit lane. Not too many at the moment. Lalo Mado, who is the early driver to get on to those slick tyres, is back up into P5 now. Get Carter into P4, so it's all worked out well for the previous race leader at the minute, but SMI continues to lead. We're going to bring up the penalty situation right about now. It's 3 seconds for SMI, for Muhiti, for Get Carter, and for JBS Steve. 9 for Lalo Mado.
This race has completely turned on its head, and Look at this. Muhiti is in P3. He's currently, as it stands, going to get 18 points. He's got front wing damage, but he's got an 11-second gap to get Carter. There's 5 or so laps. Tommy Alex lost it, and Lesmo won. He's still in the race, though, crucially. But lap 22, Muhiti currently getting 18 points. Tommy Alex, if he drops behind Crozer, which I think he will, is going to be getting 7.
He's on the attack on Entei now. Entei got a poor exit out of Lesmo too. Pommy Alex was invited around the outside. They're going to be side by side. Krauser's very close as well. There's a lot of drivers getting very close as Pommy Alex manages to stay ahead in towards the Sky chicane. At the moment, Entei Mika really getting on the curbs there. The 3 of them very, very close as they run all the way down to the Parabolica. At the moment, this could be quite the battle brewing as they go along. Entei Mika looks at the inside of the Australian. No dice for the AlphaTauri thus far as they come around that final corner, very wide from the AlphaTauri. Perhaps a track limits warning at the minute. He's got Krauser on as well. These 3 are going to be hurtling down towards the first corner, and Entei Mika's going to go pull alongside the Ferrari at the moment. They're going side by side as they get in towards the Rettifilia chicane. That's contact. Krauser's got into the back of the AlphaTauri, outbraking himself and sending him around.
Entei is going to be furious. He's retired from the session. In fact, he is indeed furious. Crozer in P12, he's going to be heart in mouth at that one, and he's probably going to realise his mistake. Mr. J-Man right behind the McLaren. DRS open for the Williams. Round the outside he goes. That McLaren down to P6. Mr. J-Man up to 5th place. But as it stands, Sumo, Pommy Alex would get 9 points and Muhiti would get 18. So, as it stands, that is a 9-point advantage. Muhiti would be 23 points ahead. So, it would be, in the last race, Pommy Alex would have to win the championship.
Wow. Pressure for the Australian. Then LB is on the attack on Lalo Madden. Mr. J-Man has made the move, it seems. A little lap before I was dealing with an annoying bot in my chat. Has Lalo Madden not got a wing? There's no wing on that McLaren.
No wing. Down to P7 he goes, unsurprisingly. But LB up to 6th place. Lawrence right behind SMI still. He's not giving up. He has this race win in his sights. Crozer right behind Pommy Alex as well, and Lil Manny Man putting JB under pressure further back. On the run to turn 4, there's contact between them, a bit of wheel banging as they both go down the straight, and Lil Manny Man round the outside is going to make that move up to P9. JB down to 10th, but Pommy, he has to keep Crozer behind here, Sumo. He has to. He cannot afford to drop to P12 because that would mean he would need both the win and fastest lap in Abu Dhabi, a feat that is pretty much nearly impossible. So he really, really needs to keep that 11th place.
Yeah, certainly so. And Krauser going lagging wide. Even.
Yeah, a lot of lag.
That was very interesting.
A lot of lag.
And Lawrence is looking set to take this win at the moment, just not wanting to get a penalty. I wonder what his warnings are at the moment for track limits.
Well, SMI. Are you asking for Lawrence's warnings?
Lawrence's warnings, yes.
Lawrence's warnings. I will let you know.
So Fido Man's going to go around the outside of the McLaren. Maybe a poor choice of position with no ring on that McLaren, but keeping it very clean. And Lalo Mado manages to keep the position for the moment with no ring on that Papaya car at the minute. Meanwhile, Krauser is ahead of Pommy Alex. Oh, no. There's contact, I think. Oh. I think the lag for Krauser has struck again. And,
I think that is lag.
And it sent him around. I don't think Pommy Alex has done anything wrong there.
Yeah, agreed. I think Crozer's lag has caught out. I think that might have been what happened to Entei as well. Just impossible to tell where Crozer is on the track. But Lawrence, as SMI tries to play DRS games here, we don't like that here in APPF1. But he is going to get the DRS. But he's spun! It's karma for SMI! He's spun round the Parabolica. But no, that could be crucial, because Muhiti is going to get past! This is for the championship! Muhiti, as it stands, is going to win the Tier 2 championship here in Monza!
absolute drama at the moment. This race has continued to chop and change as things go. It's been wet, it's been dry. We've had many a different leader. I don't know how many different drivers have been up in the top three or in fact on the top spot at the minute, but it's been an incredible race, and Muhiti now looking set to win the championship and miss the last race as well. This has gone perfectly for him, and Pommy Alex is in no man's land at the minute, and there's only 2 laps left to go.
Muhiti was running in last for the majority of this race, Sumo, and here he is in second place with 1.5 laps to go to win the Tier 2 championship. Obviously, there's stewards' inquiries to come, but I don't think Muhiti's done anything wrong today. So it'll be whether any stewards' penalties bump up Pommy Alex, but we've got to just call it as we see it on track. And as it stands, Muhiti is going to win the title.
Yeah, SMI has got to defend now from Get Carter to keep a hold
but he's
of
got
that
no front
position.
Wing.
He's got no front wing, has he? Oh, God.
Sorry, Muhiti's got damage. He's got damage. So he's going to find it tricky. If he keeps these 2 behind, he's going to win the title today. But SMI is going to go down the inside through Parabolica. It's not over yet. They've all got 3-second penalties, these 3. So SMI down the inside on the run towards turn 1. Muhiti's going to let him go. Get Carter could be in the mix as well. Muhiti's got no ERS on that Ferrari. Get Carter round the outside of turn 1. A bit of Hamilton Verstappen there. And turns 1 and 2, Get Carter spun round. I don't think there was much Muhiti could do there. It's tricky to call first time we see, but Muhiti down to P3, so that championship hope of winning it today could be over. But if SMI makes another mistake, that is it. But again, as it stands, Pommy Alex still just needs to win the next race in order to win the title. But wow, Muhiti goes very deep with that damage. Could Get Carter still get him before the end?
Could possibly, if he manages to pick up the pace in the final sector. There's a few places being swapped around.
Mr. J-Man's gone!
Flag. No, Mr. J-Man has had an incredible race. And he's round at the Lesmo 2, and he continues to go around as he tries to get that car back in a straight line. He's got no wing on that Williams. Absolute calamity for him, and that might see Pommy Alex actually go up a place if he can get there through the last few corners.
And Get Carter on Muhiti. Round the outside, the Ferrari's going to lose the place, so Muhiti down to P4 in the end. He's not going to win the title today, but he's done all he can. 16 points for Muhiti today. LB's going to cross the line in 5th, but where's Pommy Alex going to be? Can he pass Mr. J-Man into Parabolica? There's no wing on that Williams, remember? Little Mannyman's gone. And that could gift Pommy Alex another position. They're coming to Parabolica now. Where's Lil Manny Man? Where is the Williams? There it is. Is Pommy going to get him to the line? Yes, he is. Could he get Mr. J-Man? He does.
He does.
He gets both of them. P9 for Pommy Alex. He saves a few points. And what can you even say?
I can say that there was so much going on that we forgot about our race leader. Lawrence crossed the line and won the race as he managed to just stay out of the carnage, and that early pit stop in the wet conditions managed to pay it off for him as the safety cars really helped him get along as he makes his way through the tunnel. So much happened in that race. Monza always seems to produce absolute carnage here in Tier 2. I'll never forget that first race I commentated on, the Tier 2 pre-season race around Monza, and wow, we always have a bit of a spectacle for you here at the Temple of Speed, and today has been no different. Our debutant as well, SMI 06, well done on a podium on debut, incredible job to be up there, and again putting another beneficiary of that early pit stop, and Get Carter as well, just in the right place at the right time. But Lawrence then is our race winner, standing on that top step of the podium with SMI and Get Carter, who has the fastest lap, joining him on the podium. Muhiti finishes P4 with LB Rounding off the top 5, Fido Man comes home in P6 with Lale Mado P7 after a very early change to the medium tyres and a few laps with no wing. JBS Stephen and Mercedes is P8 with Pommy Alex finishing P9, crucial for the championship, especially if Muhiti isn't going to be here. Mr. J-Man rounds off the top 10 with Krauser P11, Little Manny Man P12, Ente Mika not finishing the race, Henry not finishing the race, Tier and Jamie also not finishing.
What can you say? What can you say, Sumo? My goodness me. The gap between the two seems, yeah, 19 points between the two Ferraris going into the final race. So, Pommy Alex's win conditions next week, assuming Muhiti isn't here, Pommy Alex, he needs to finish either third with fastest lap or second or better.
Wow.
And he will win the title. So he needs at least a podium to win the title, but if he finishes third, he needs fastest lap as well. Those are the stakes. The 4 stewards, of course.
Yes, certainly so, and I think we might have a few decisions to make in the stewards' room as the week continues. But wow, what a crazy race. I'm sat sort of reeling from it. A wet race at Monza, changeable conditions, lots of carnage, a debutant on the podium, and we need to find the driver of the day for all that mess, Ghost.
Oh no. Wow. Who gets driver of the day? I think. I mean, do you have one in mind?
I I really don't, but you know, I think you know what? I think I think I'll give our commentary driver of the day to. I'm torn between Muhiti and SM, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because Muhiti came through and showed that, you know, you might be at the back of the race, but as long as you don't give up, you could end up anywhere, uh, especially in a race that chaotic. But SMI did a great job to come on uh, the dry tyre at the right time and finish on the podium as well.
Are we going with SMI then?
Let's go with SMI just
All
to make
right.
this easy.
SMI gets commentary driver of the day then.
Wow, there we
But
go.
with Muhiti,
I think he got driver of the day on the game as well. I'll have to look back at that.
I think it was Muhiti because he started last
Ah,
and
yeah, it would have
Colton
been
fourth.
Muhiti, yeah, for sure.
Goodness me. If Muhiti had, I think, because what happened was Entei spun at turn one,
Mm,
or got hit or something happened, and then Muhiti hit him, because he thought that the AlphaTauri was going to be ghosted because he was basically stopped on the apex of turn one. So
yeah.
it's completely fair to assume that he was going to ghost. And Muhiti lucky to not be out of the race there, but lost a lot of front wing. And then from then on had to nurse the car home and did well to finish in fourth. But for a few laps, Sumo, he was the champion.
Yeah, for a few laps. But that is not going to be decided until next week as we go into the final round of Abu Dhabi then with the championship still in play. Pommy Alex has it all to do. He's got to finish third with fastest lap or second uh, or better. So Pommy Alex then having it all to do. And that's all, of course, assuming Muhiti isn't going to make the next race. But I think we can safely say that the Constructors' Championship will all be wrapped up now, so I think well done to Ferrari. I don't think anybody can actually challenge for that.
They
Um,
can't. Congratulations to Ferrari. They have won the Constructors' Championship.
So well done then to Pommy and Muhiti for wrapping up the constructors. There's still a few battles left to go as a battle rages on for P2 between the Alpines, the Mercedes, and the Red Bulls at the minute. Looking a bit more closely at the Red Bulls and Mercedes as coming into this race they were on equal points, 209 between the two teams, but there's still that one race to go, and that will be next week. Same time again for some more Tier 2 action. And last thing I've got to say, is there any final thoughts, Ghost?
Nothing that would add to what we've seen today. What a race! What a fantastic Italian Grand Prix and Abu Dhabi next week. Pommy Alex with it all on the line. It's going
Yeah,
to be a classic.
yeah, it certainly will be a lot for Pommy Alex to do then, but with the season he's had, I'm sure he can manage it if all things can't go his way. But anyway, uh, make sure you guys have liked the stream, of course, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already to not miss out on any of the further Tier 2 action, as the conclusion of this fifth season of Tier 2 is coming next week on what day is it today? It's the first, so it's the 8th of November, where we will decide the championship. One championship decided, the drivers' championship left to go. Make sure you go and check out all of our APPF1 affiliates. Many of our drivers do stream on YouTube, so you can catch their full onboard cameras there. You can also go and watch Ghost's onboard stream, where he'll have some of the best bits, I suppose, from the onboard perspective of this crazy race that we've had. Make sure that you go check out our sponsor as well, Positive Perception Media Design Products. They are an incredible sponsor and have been with us for I think 4 seasons now, if I'm not mistaken, and have been an incredible incredible to have along board. So go check out all of their socials and stuff for some cool livery designs and some great racing content as well. I think that's all I've got to say, so I will leave you with I am Sumo, or I have been Sumo.
I have been Ghost.
And we will see you next week, the same time again, for the championship finale, where we might just see Muhiti or Pommy Alex take that drivers' championship. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.